There are actually 26 rights total enumerated in the first 8 amendments, and many of them, in fact, more than most, have to do with the criminal justice system. And this allows us in these modern times to understand the perception of how skewed the justice system was under the empire and under imperial rule, with these judges and lords and royals that I was discussing earlier. So in those first 8 amendments, there are 15 rights that specifically apply to the criminal justice system, and that is very telling as to what our founding fathers wanted to protect and why they wanted to protect it, because prior to that, those rights had been abused. There are actually a number of rights set out in the Speedy Trial Amendment, although we just generally call it the Speedy Trial Amendment or the Sixth Amendment, but it gives the following rights: the right to a speedy trial, the right to a public trial, the right to an impartial jury, and I'll touch on that later, but also it also gives the right to be notified about the nature of the allegations against you, the right to confront your witnesses that are going to testify against you, the right to find witnesses that are in favor of you or your position, as well as the ever important right to have a lawyer. Now, under our state dual sovereignty system, most states didn't guarantee this right to have an attorney present, and it wasn't until the Equal Protection Clause, and then later in the 1950s in the Supreme Court case Gideon versus Wainwright. And if you've ever read the book or seen the movie or the play Gideon's Trumpet, you know what I'm talking about, that a citizen accused of a state crime in the United States of America, depending on what state you were in, Mr. Gideon was from Florida, had no right to counsel, and a lot of potential miscarriages of justice may have occurred when you think about uneducated or barely educated citizens going up against well-educated, law school trained prosecutors defending their liberty from accusations of misdemeanor and felony crimes under state law. And that right to an attorney now applies across the board, but it wasn't until that case in the 1950s.